got work done to the skull, just some real minor modification I wanted to do. And we have the skull glued onto the body, so now he's a little top heavy. So I have the shield holding him up. But we used our epoxy sculpt and we changed the brow a little bit to where he's looking a little bit more menacing. I just prime him up and start painting the big guy here. We used just sanding sticks to sand the epoxy sculpt, and our knife, let me back up here a little bit. Our knife, our engraver, which actually makes a good cleaning tool for resin, and then our small metal file to get in between the rib cage to clean up all the attachment points. But yeah, step one was to modify the brow, and that's finished. And we'll, I guess, start putting some primer on next. Alright, be right back. So we got our arms finished. I spent yesterday getting both arms done. And once we get the skeleton painted, his torso and stuff, then we'll go ahead and glue the arms on finally. For the shield and the sword, I guess, we're using this Vallejo wood and leather effects, and we're using two techniques. We're using mine, and the techniques that are included in here, they include a step-by-step guide on how to make wood and leather effects. So I kind of took some of what they said, took what I already know, and just kind of combined them and made my shield and sword. But this kit, really nice kit, comes with dark sand, Japanese uniform, World War II, orange brown, flat earth, chocolate brown, wood grain, smoke and black. And then of course they have a pamphlet inside here that tells you how to create a shield that looks like that, and also different leather effects. But we kind of blended theirs with what I know and created this. So one of the first things I did is I started with the shield arm, and we've got the shield done, as you can see here. I started off by painting any area that had metal work on it black. The shield arm was primered gray, just like the rest of the skeleton. Everything was primered gray. Painted all this black, went back and dry brushed our Vallejo steel over that until we were happy with it, front and back, all the metal work. And then we took a little bit of Vallejo rust, kind of haphazardly put it on in different spots to get it looking like it had a little bit of surface rust on it. I didn't want his equipment too pristine. So that's that. The wood, that's a little bit of Vallejo's technique and my technique, because I like that multi-wood color. Multicolor wood, I mean. So we started off with a base of Japanese uniform and darker, flat earth, and then we just added various colors based on Vallejo's recommendations to get this wood tone here, which I really like. So that's the back. The leather straps, that's my own thing. I just do my own technique. I usually do leather. I did put a coat of satin on it just to get it a little glossy, because you know how leather gets when it gets worn. It starts to get a sheen on it. So I did put a little bit of satin on the leather straps. The bone, I didn't want him to be pristine like he's been laying out in the desert, because it did just spring up from the ground. And I was thinking, well, if the guy was under the ground and all his flesh and meat fell off, his bones are going to be stained. They'll have a little bit of a red, to them. I didn't want it, a bleached color. So we took our Army Painter Skeleton Bone. That was the base color. Used 2 washes, a wash of burnt sienna first, and then a wash of raw sienna next, and then a wash of soft tone ink in the joints and wrists and elbow, kind of bring them out. So that's how we did the shield arm. And we'll do the skeleton the same way, this body. Same technique, same colors, same order of colors. So that's the shield arm. Here is the sword arm. Again, the bone, same technique as we did on the shield. The sword, I made the sword a little bit more ornate. The swords that Ray used or made were they were pretty basic swords. You had a gold handle, a gold hilt, and then your sword. And I got a little fancier with mine. So we painted the sword 24 karat gold leaf. It's a lacquer paint, and then did the blade in a little bit of ushi powder to brighten it up a bit. Give it just a little bit of a sheen. I didn't put much on because I didn't want the sword, again, too pristine. I just wanted it, to look like it came out of the ground. Not really, really bright. The gems, that's clear, to me, a clear blue over the gold. Back here is, to me, a clear red over the gold. And then the grip is a dark earth, mix of dark earth and smoke from the wood and leather set. I might go over it with a little lighter color, but that's pretty much the sword. So that's the sword arm. That is the shield arm. I think they're looking pretty good. Well, I'm going to start on the body next. I don't know if I'm going to brush. This is all brushed. And I think I'm just going to go all brush on the big guy here. I'm going to have a little bit of an issue. I might have to fire up the airbrush though, because I'm going to have a little bit of an issue getting inside that rib cage. So I might have to spray that, and then I'll hand paint the rest. But overall, it's coming out pretty good. I've been mainly using Vallejo. Just a little bit of craft acrylics. Over here you can see the paints I'm using. We're using black craft acrylic, the burnt sienna craft acrylic, and raw sienna craft acrylic, and the rest is Vallejo. We're using Army Painter ink, the soft tone ink, because that's more on the brown side, for the joints and the skeleton. I think black would be a little too stark, black ink. And then we're using the war paint, skeleton bone. And then, as I said, the rest is all Vallejo. And that's where we are at on the Skeleton Warrior. I think he's going to be really cool. Once we get him all painted up, we can start working on the base, putting down our foliage and ground. And I think he's going to be pretty cool. I'm really digging it. I've been wanting one of these for so long, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. All right, guys. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm hanging in there. I got. They're talking about radiation again, and I am not happy about that whatsoever. But we'll see what the radiologist says. It's just, it's like I'm repeating 2009 all over again, when I was first diagnosed with cancer. But we will see. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you.